All right, so I just bought this new boat. It's a 1989 Bayliner Capri. It's got a 125 force outboard motor on it. I bought it for 500 bucks. Came not running, and I knew that there was some weak spots in the floor. Already started digging into it a little bit. So a lot of the floor in the middle here has to be replaced. And then we have a lot of engine work we got to do to it still. So probably going to start off with working on the floor for now. We're going to have to redo a lot of the wood and the fiberglass for it, so should be all good. I'm going to take some measurements real quick and then go get some supplies from the store to start working on it. Alright, so a lot of this, really this whole thing should come out, but I'm going to start off with just kind of removing all this junk in the middle here, and then I'll take a Sawzall and just kind of clean it up so it's more square. Just went and got all the wood to try and replace it, so just want to clean it up first, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so it's taking a lot longer than I thought, but found out there's actually a little tunnel that goes down. I don't know if you can see that, but it doesn't just go right into the tank. There's a little tube. So I took this garden stake and just kind of jammed it down there. I think I ended up getting it cleared out, so I'm going to try and put some water in there now, see if it drains right. I'm just going to jack it up so that way the water runs to the back. So if this cleared it out, all that water should run through that tube now and right out the back, exactly where the bilge pump is. Let's get see. Yep, looks like it's coming through. And then it should start to trickle out of there. Alright, so that's turning out pretty good now. Still some more to clear out in there. Still got to mess around a little bit more, but it's getting kind of hot out, so I'm going to shift over into the garage here. And these cushions are actually in really good condition for being how old it is. It's a 1989. Cushions are actually in really good shape still, which is nice. So there's just some staples and stuff that are popping out around the corner, so I'm gonna try and get all that stuff re-secured so I can throw all the seats back in there in the front. Let's see all that's coming out. Sweet. All right, that all went back together good. While we're up here in the front, I want to mess with this light. Turned it on earlier and it looked like nothing was coming on, so I'm going to check, see if make sure it's getting power. All right, looks like the ground's not attached. All right, so just turn on the key and turn the light on. So let's see if we make sure we're getting power. So it's all messed up. Oh, dropping all the screws. Alright, so we should be getting 12 volts once this is on. And we are not. Alright, let me go check the fuse. Alright, so I actually can't get to the fuses. I mean, they're underneath the dash. It's just kind of a pain because there's no floor. So I'm going to wait for all of that stuff. But I am going to jump onto the trailer lights and knock that out. So it has trailer lights on it. Only one of the brake lights works. So I just ordered a whole new submersible kit. This is probably overkill. I don't think I need all this, but trailer has all those lights on it currently, so might as well keep it as is. Going to probably take this blue plastic thing off. It's all banged up, so I'm going to pop that off. I'm going to go around and remove all of the wiring and lights and stuff that are on there and just kind of start from scratch. They have the taillights in such a weird spot down here. They're all the way in the back, so just gonna take everything off and just kind of start from scratch and go from there. Alright, we just got all that done. New plugs on there, new front marker lights here. I had to change it around a little bit from the way it used to be. Got the wires ran all the way through the frame. Now I'm working on setting up this marker light on the fender. And then the taillights are originally back there. I'm not really a fan of it, so I'm gonna end up putting them right there. Just gotta figure out how to run these wires under the wheel well here, because the tire does get pretty close to it, so I just need to make sure I have them all tucked in there, that way they won't get caught. Gonna have to grind down these bolts here, if you can see, that way they don't hit the tire from this, if the suspension bounces up. So I'm gonna start working on that now. Alright, not happy with how the wiring came out, but it's all hooked up, everything works. I have it hooked up to a little battery right now so I can try it. So they used to be there. I don't like how far back they are, so I'll take those out. So I put them back up there again. So before I put this wheel back on, I want to try and get all this gunk off of here before I put it on. Alright, well, that kind of didn't work, so cool. Definitely need to get new tires for this. These ones are pretty bad. Pretty dry rotted. Holding air for now, but come on. There we go. Sweet, good enough. Alright, so both sides are done. Got all the lights working on it now. All the marker lights. Just lights up here on the tongue. Same thing with that side, so. Trailer lights are all good. Next thing that I gotta work on is gonna be finishing the floor. So I smoothed it all out as best I could today. I got to put in a couple cross braces, fiberglass it in, and then put another sheet of plywood on top of it, fiberglass all that down, and then I still have the original carpet that'll go right over top of it. That way we can get all that cleaned up. That will take care of the boat side of it. Next is going to be working on the motor. So piston rings blew apart and came through the top of the pistons, so it has like no compression, as you can see. That one's really bad, but ordered all the parts. Everything shipped today, so it probably won't be here till the weekend or early next week, so kind of on hold right now for the motor. It should be pretty simple. Once you take these carbs and these back plates off, you can get right to the bottoms of the pistons, so you can take that off. It should be pretty easy to swap them out. So I'll pull those off, hone them out. Should be good, but we're gonna work on that a little bit more next week. That's why I'm kind of sticking with the cosmetic stuff for now. So gonna be focusing mainly on replacing the floor next. That's the next big thing. Other than that, the interior should be good. The rest of the stuff I can't really check until I get the engine running, like all the gauges and cooling and all that stuff. So that'll end up being next week. All right, so it's day 2 working on this. I just took some measurements down there. I got a 2x12 pressure treated. I'm gonna remake the supports in the middle here below the floor. Just took some measurements, so it's got to be like 23.5 inches by 9 foot tall, and then I'm gonna have to kind of shape it like a V at the bottom. So I'm gonna take some time to cut some of those supports out real quick. All right, so this needs to be about 4 inches. So let's do this. And we'll kind of just connect this. All right, let's give that a shot. There's no way that's gonna fit first try, but we'll give it a shot. Oh, kind of fits. Jeez, that's way off though. There's a huge gap over here. Okay, so looks like it needs to be shortened too a little bit. Shortened a lot actually. I want you to fit in here. All right. Alright, well that took forever, but we got all the crossbars set up, got it all pushed underneath there, we put some supports on the front. We're going to go through and fiberglass it all down. And then we got this one pushed back up against the gas tank, the hole down at the bottom for the water to drain. So we're gonna fiberglass all these in and then get ready to cut the plywood. All right, I think we're finally done mocking it up here. So cross members are in. That's all good. I have a third one that's gonna go right here in the middle. And then we have the fourth one here in front of the gas tank. I put a new tube in underneath the gas tank, so I'm gonna have to fiberglass all around that. That way the water trickles all the way underneath the gas tank. So got this fiberglass resin. We're gonna try and fiberglass in this front piece. I put these little cross supports here just to make sure there's support for the plywood that goes over it. So apparently 8 ounces of the resin to 55 drops of the hardener. Should give us about 15-20 minutes before it hardens up, so we'll give that a shot. Alright, so just finished fiberglassing in all the supports. If you've done fiberglass work before, you know this is an absolute mess, but got everything fiberglassed in. I gotta cut all that extra fiberglass out there. Middle support's good. Resecured the tube, and I put a little drain, a little like screen over top of it, so it ends up blocking anything that could go down there and clog it. And then had a weak spot in the seat here, so threw a piece of plywood in and then some more fiberglass over top of it. So next thing I need to do, I need to cut the big piece of plywood out that's going to go down the middle. Should be about 22 inches wide by about 92.5 long. Cap that out. It's going to need another little piece to cover this area over here under the driver's seat that got weak. So we'll end up screwing that down to these supports, so that way it's all locked in, and throwing some fiberglass over top of it. Carpet did come out in one piece, so I still have all that over there. Once that's done, I'll throw some carpet glue down and then resecure it all. And then the piece in the middle, I have that piece over here still. I'm going to put down a full sheet, and then I'm going to trace it while it's in the boat and then cut it out that way. I think that's going to be a little bit easier than trying to cut it out before I put it in. So I'm just going to let this fiberglass dry, and then we will start working on the floor. Alright, so everything down here is good. I'm going to try and see if this plywood fits. It's probably not. Alright, looks like it's too long. It's about an inch 2 inches too long. Great. Let's cut it. Okay. This is gonna be a pain. It's getting caught on the seats, but there's no way to make it any shorter. right? Kind of went in. It's getting caught on the seat right here, but it looks like it might go in. Now it's getting caught up here. Alright, so now it's getting caught on this part right there. So I think I'm gonna trim that up a little bit and then hopefully it'll slide right in. Alright, that was not easy at all, but luckily it fits in there. A little bit of gaps around the edges. I'm not really too worried about it. I ended up trimming the corner. I'm gonna have to really patch that with some fiberglass in there, but fits in there pretty good. I'll be able to screw that down to the board, and then I'll end up throwing another little patch over here to fill that little hole. So not the end of the world. It's not perfect, but carpet's gonna go right over top of it and cover it all. So I'm not really too worried about it, as long as it doesn't break. So should be pretty good. It feels pretty solid even in between the sideboards. So sweet. I'm going to get ready to screw this in. All right, so last part for today. Got all the floor put in. Everything fits up. It's all screwed down. I'm going to fiberglass all this in real quick. I got a pretty decent sized hole there and here. So I'm going to throw all the fiberglass in, really lock this in, peel all the carpets up so I can get around the edges. So should be good. Alright, that's gonna wrap up part one. So got all the floor done. Everything's all fiberglassed in. Not the best job, but should be fine. So everything's all hardening now. I'm gonna let it sit overnight. And then after that, we'll be able to re-glue all the carpet down, and then we'll be able to start working on the motor.